Stories have been reported across the nation. Firefighters diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, skin cancer, even brain cancer. And government agencies say research shows increasing rates of cancer among firefighters.
A local nonprofit is not only spreading awareness about cancer, but also helping firefighters and their families. WGN's Lauren Jiggets has their story.
The International Association of Firefighters says cancer has replaced heart disease as the #1 cause of line-of-duty deaths. Shield 23 was founded after Gurnee firefighter Russ Constantino died from brain cancer. The foundation extends firehouse loyalty and brotherhood beyond the front lines.
It was a chance meeting in a pub that sparked a decades-long romance for Carla Cutting and her husband, Andy.
He's a native Australian, and he was traveling around the world like Australians do, backpacking, back in the mid-90s. We just happened to meet. This was the days before dating apps and all of that. We met how you used to do in the old days at a pub.
That spark was the real deal. The two would be married for 25 years. Andy was a volunteer firefighter in Australia. In 2011, he decided he wanted to be a full-time paramedic and firefighter here in the United States.
You need good people to do this job, and I knew he was good.
He started the Fire Academy the day after 9/11, and he was nearing retirement in 2022 with the Skokie Fire Department when X-rays for job-related injury discovered cancer.
It was not just cancer, it was stage 4 metastatic cancer. It was in his lungs, it was in his lymph nodes, it was in his liver, and it was migrating to his brain. We had absolutely no idea. We really started thinking this could be related to his career almost immediately. And because it was just such recent history, a lot more was known about cancer in the fire service.
Andy passed away less than a year later, classified as a line-of-duty death.
The numbers have skyrocketed over the last 10, 15 years.
Tim Gobat is an engineer and paramedic with the Evanston Fire Department.
With all the way things are built nowadays, everything is made with synthetics. They burn hotter, they burn faster, they're filled with more toxins. So that just exposes us more to nasty, bad stuff.
A study by the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health found that firefighters now have a 9% higher risk of being diagnosed with cancer and a 14% higher risk of dying from cancer than the general U.S. population. In 2022, the International Association of Firefighters says 75% of firefighters who were added to the Firefighter Memorial that year died of cancer.
And you don't know what you're exposed to all the time. And as you get older, you kind of think about that a little bit, kind of like wondering what's down the road for me.
It's not only the fires that are burning hotter and faster, it's also their turnout gear, often coated in chemicals known as PFAs. The chemicals make the coats and pants water repellent and also prevent moisture-related burns. But thousands of firefighters across the nation have sued PFAS manufacturers, saying the so-called forever chemicals are linked to an alarming rise in cancer among firefighters.
The numbers are very shocking.
Shannon Constantino knows those numbers well. Her husband, Russ, a Gurnee firefighter, died of brain cancer at the age of 46.
When your husband was first diagnosed with brain cancer, did you ever think like, hey, this could be something that might be tied to what his work is?
No, we never had an inkling of that. Back then, they really didn't have much research on it. In fact, it was the pension board that did the research.
Russ was a 20-year veteran of the department.
He handled all the gear. That was his job as the quartermaster. His desk was in a small room where all the gear was stored. So his exposure was probably pretty high.
After a grueling 2.5 years, the father of two and Shannon's high school sweetheart was gone. And the battle was compounded by financial stress.
When he went out on FMLA, the municipality at the time, we were cut off the health insurance. So I had to pay the health insurance myself.
That experience spurred her son to action. In 2018, Ryan, who's now also a firefighter, came up with an idea. They called it Shield 23. It's a tribute to Russ's badge number. The nonprofit gives money to firefighters battling cancer and to their families.
Our slogan is actually taken off of what is on Russ's grave marker, and that's where we get for love of family and brotherhood.
And Carla says that support from Shield 23 was crucial.
Arrived not only with emotional support, but financial support. And that was really helpful to Andy and I through his cancer journey. And again, unprovoked, unasked for, they were there.
The money raised from events like this one will offset costs like medical care not covered by insurance, transportation, household bills, childcare. So far, over $100,000 has been gifted to firefighters and their families in 6 different states.
They're the ones who are used to helping others, and it's not easy for them to be in the receiving end. But as a spouse, I can get away with it a little bit because they say it's not even just about them, it's about their family too, and their spouses and their kids.
It's an extended family that looks out for one another. And with more awareness about all the risks firefighters face to save lives, Shannon and Carla hope they can also help spur change.
I would say to firefighters, just please, we know that this incidence of cancer is increasing. Just please be mindful and do what you can to take care of yourself. I don't want anyone else to go through what I'm going through.
Research for alternatives to PFAS and turnout gear continues. Meanwhile, a congressional bill introduced in July would require the Department of Defense to offer its firefighters with medical testing to detect, document, and prevent certain cancers. For more information on Shield 23, visit their website, shield23foundation.org. Lauren Jiggets, WGN News.